People hear low IQ and immediately think it means someone is stupid. That's not what this is about. Intelligence isn't about sounding smart, using big words, or winning arguments online. In everyday life, low cognitive ability usually shows up in subtle habits, not dramatic ones. Habits you see at work, in group chats, in traffic, and sometimes, if we're honest, in ourselves on a bad day. One common sign is struggling with simple cause and effect. You explain something clearly, step by step, and the person still blames the outcome on something random. They're late because the universe was against them. They failed because everyone is jealous. Nothing is ever connected to their choices. It's not bad luck every time. It's a lack of pattern recognition. Life keeps giving feedback and they keep ignoring it. Another everyday sign is repeating the same mistake while expecting a different result. Same habits, same decisions, same outcomes. Then surprise every time it doesn't work. Think of the friend who keeps dating the same type of person, gets hurt the same way, and then says, "I don't know why this keeps happening." At some point, it's not bad luck. It's not learning. Low cognitive flexibility also shows up in conversations. These are the people who can't follow a discussion unless it's black or white. Everything is either right or wrong, good or bad, smart or stupid. There's no nuance, no middle ground. If you introduce a different perspective, they don't process it. They feel attacked. Disagreement feels like disrespect, because complexity feels threatening. You'll also notice difficulty understanding jokes, sarcasm, or indirect communication, not because they're serious people, but because their brain takes things literally. You say, "Yeah, great idea," sarcastically, and they nod like they just received a compliment. Context goes right past them. This shows up constantly in daily interactions. Another big sign is talking more than listening, not sharing, dominating. They interrupt. They bring everything back to themselves, not because they're confident, but because listening requires mental effort. Processing new information is harder than repeating familiar thoughts. So they talk, and talk, and talk. Conversations feel like a monologue with occasional pauses for you to breathe. Low IQ behavior also shows up as oversimplifying complex problems. Everything has a one-line explanation. Just work harder. Just be positive. It's common sense. Real intelligence understands that most problems are layered. When someone dismisses complexity with cliches, it's often because they can't mentally hold multiple variables at once. Another everyday example is emotional reasoning. They believe something is true because it feels true. If they feel offended, someone must be wrong. If they feel confident, they must be right. Facts come second to emotions. This is why logic doesn't work in arguments with them. You're debating feelings, not ideas. You'll also notice resistance to learning, not curiosity, defensiveness. When corrected, they don't adjust and they double down. Admitting, "I didn't know that," feels humiliating. So they pretend the information doesn't matter. Growth requires humility. Without it, intelligence stagnates. Poor impulse control is another sign people overlook. Saying things without thinking, sending messages they regret, reacting instantly instead of pausing. Intelligence isn't just knowledge, it's regulation. The ability to stop, think, and choose. When everything is reactive, thinking gets bypassed. Low cognitive ability also shows up in how people argue. They attack the person instead of the idea. They exaggerate your point to something ridiculous, just so they can knock it down. Strawman arguments, name-calling, mocking. These aren't signs of strength. They're shortcuts around thinking. You'll often see difficulty planning ahead. Everything is last minute. Consequences are always a surprise. Bills, deadlines, responsibilities. It's not laziness every time. Sometimes it's an inability to mentally simulate the future. Planning requires abstract thinking, imagining outcomes before they happen. Another subtle sign is copying opinions without understanding them. They repeat talking points perfectly but can't explain them in their own words. Ask one follow-up question and the logic collapses. It's not independent thinking. It's memorization without comprehension. Low IQ behavior also includes mistaking confidence for competence. Speaking loudly, speaking fast, using absolute statements. Everyone knows. Obviously. Only idiots think otherwise. Real intelligence is comfortable saying, "I'm not sure." Fake intelligence hides behind certainty. Here's the part people don't like hearing. Everyone shows these behaviors sometimes. Stress lowers cognitive function. Fatigue lowers it. Ego lowers it. This isn't about labeling people. It's about recognizing patterns. And the biggest difference between low and high intelligence isn't knowledge. It's adaptability. Smart people update their thinking when new information appears. Less intelligent people defend old beliefs even when reality keeps proving them wrong. The goal isn't to judge others. It's to become aware, because once you recognize these signs, you stop wasting energy trying to reason with people who aren't reasoning. You communicate differently, you set better boundaries, and you catch yourself when you start slipping into the same patterns. Intelligence isn't about being right, it's about being willing to learn. And that's something anyone can practice, if they're honest enough to try.